anything you make, you want to milk it. So if you do a live and it's 10 minutes, there's probably at least 10 different things you can make out of that 10-minute video. Pull it out and make different 30 to 60 second sound bites from it. You can make quote cards. You can turn it into a simple text and graphic image post. You can do an infographic. You can do a blog. I mean, there's a ton of different things you can do with that post. So don't just create it in one way. Recycle it in a bunch of different formats.
That's so good. I need to get better at that. I'm not as good at that one. Like I always forget. Like I do a thing and it's almost like it exists in a vacuum, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This is the online trainer show. This is the online trainer show. We shouldn't have a podcast. I should expect no literature from Canada for 1099s. For God's sakes, it's Canada. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, they didn't get my 1099s yet.
All on us.
I'm just going to say that I made $1 billion last year.
Yes.
So
And you're going to owe a crap ton.
Incredible amount of money.
No,
Right
billionaires
off
don't pay
everything.
tax. We know that.
Yeah. But think of all the cool cars I can get approved for with that tax statement. $1 million house to get evicted from. The podcast has probably started, so I should probably stop talking about my taxes. It's probably not what the listeners came for. But Jonathan's not here again, so we need a little nonsense. Jonathan got out of Mexican prison and, due to some technicality, had to go back in. So he won't be here today. He forged his signature. I think he signed his exit documents from the Mexican prison. I think he signed James Clear's name. So because of that, they caught up to him and they put him back in. So tough luck. In all seriousness, I think he's celebrating in an elaborate treehouse right now with his wife, which is awesome. Did you guys see the treehouse footage?
Yes.
Treehouse is awesome. Yeah, I like one. I want to live there. It reminded me of there was a movie. Here's another old movie reference. It's not that old. Well, it's kind of old. There was a movie maybe in the mid '90s with Robin Williams where he played Peter Pan. Did you guys ever see that? It's called Pan.
That.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dustin Hoffman is Captain Hook, and that's what that treehouse looked like. That Jonathan's saying it looked like the set from the 1995, 98 production of Hook, which I believe was done by Ron Howard. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Lovely film if you haven't seen it. Go down to your local Blockbuster, rent it this Friday. Grab the VHS. I think that's the only place you'll find that one. And enjoy. We got a topic today, and we knew today before we recorded that we were going to have a topic, which is amazing as always. Catalina's been shining here recently. Today is not about that. She will not be. Don't expect any shine from her today. We've used it all up. We're giving her a break. One of the other women, because there's two, even though our listeners commonly get them confused, for the chauvinist listeners out there who don't like to use names for women, this will be the blonde woman today. Jot that down. So just mansplaining to the men today that there are actually two different women on the podcast.
So that physical description is super helpful.
Yeah, it's very, very helpful on the audio production. One sounds blonder than the other. Just keep listening. You'll pick it up. You'll pick it up as we go along.
Make of that what you will.
Yeah. Make it what you will. You'll figure it out, guys. We don't have time for names and things like that. We've got important stuff to talk to you about. So, Keto, my thoughts go immediately to you every time that we interact on a Tuesday, because an entire weekend has passed, and I don't know how many things have happened. Like when we last left your saga, the squirrels were, I think, 7:20 a.m. on the dot, or 7:40. I don't know, 7 something.
I have updates on the squirrel situation.
Squirrel updates? Okay.
It just happened yesterday. We actually had a company come and sort out the whole thing and look into the roof. It's the third floor, so it's quite tall. So they're having to attach their ladders to get up there and everything. And then they come and they knock back in the door, and I'm like, yeah, so what do you find? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a squirrel in there because we can see that it's trying to chew its way out from the inside, right? Like the
Wow.
grates are all chewed up from the inside.
Wow.
And they're like, but it's trapped. Like it's pretty frantic by now. We don't know for how long it's been there, but it's trapped. Like it's frantic.
Wow.
Like it's and I'm like, get it
It's
out.
not good. This is not good.
So it was quite interesting. They actually attached like a little door that once the squirrel exits, it locks behind them and they're not able to go back in. So they're out and they're out. Yeah. So then this morning we were like 7:20, it's squirrel o'clock, and we're like listening, and there was nothing. It is
Nothing
gone.
happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, either it's gone or it died. So
whichever. It's like a movie you don't really see the ending to.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's not my problem anymore. That's all I know.
Did they leave town? Did the mob kill him? We don't know.
We don't know.
Movie, the middle part of the movie was great. So, so there are people in Canada who climb ladders and install trap doors for squirrels.
Yes.
That's
It's a thing.
so for all you dreamers out there.
Listen, it did cost us $600 freaking dollars. So there's that. Yeah.
Moms out there got a kid that hates school, send them to Canada. Send them to Canada with a net and a ladder. He's a squirrel, but who you gonna call? Squirrel busters.
Forget the American dream. This is the Canadian dream, and you need to get your asses up here.
I don't know if I've heard a more Canadian thing ever, actually. Oh yeah, there's a squirrel down there. I'm gonna hose him out, yeah. So build a trap door for a little fella. No problem. No, I'm sorry. No worries. So
it'll be out and about.
Right. Oh, that little fella be out and about in no time. So cheers to you, Canada. Once again, proving that you're the best place in North America. Although we've got guns and freedom here. You guys have the freedom without the guns. So Amber came through last week. I got to tell a story. Can I tell a story about Amber coming through? Because we know typically Amber phones it in. Like she doesn't do much around the PTDC. Like it's common knowledge. You guys listen to the podcast here. You know that. Like there's not much going on in her neck of the personal training development center. It's basically all gifts and comic book renderings of real life people. It's basically what she does. She's a gift concierge for the PTDC. But every once in a while, when she's not just slacking off, lazying around like she normally does, taking her sweet time to get back to you, she lets a little of the brilliance out, right? There's a crack in the wall and some of the light gets out, and that blonde wall cracked last week. Some of the light seeped out of the crack, and Amber brought us just a phenomenal post about content. We like to talk about content here because you guys like to complain about content, quite frankly. So if
no lies detected.
Right, yeah. So if you guys are going to complain about it, we got to talk about it here. Like that's the dynamic of our show. That's the give and take, if you will, the ebb and flow of the relationship between the online trainer show and people out there who are online trainers. The professional coaches from the academy, of which I am a mentor. I'm still working on my verbiage, Amber. But she laid out sort of like it's almost like the 12 commandments of content. I don't want to get too all biblical on you, but there was a burning bush, a plague of frogs, and when Amber came down off the mountain, heavily bearded, she broke these stone tablets over her head, and what you're about to hear is heaven's word to her. The 12 commandments of content. Amber, you feeling good about this? You're gonna have to talk today.
Post, but we'll do what we gotta do.
That's all right. We'll do it again. We're gonna hold hands and we're gonna walk through this plague of Egypt together. And you're gonna stretch out your hand, Amber, and part the Red Sea of content for us today. And we're gonna go across to the promised land of clients. I wish I had a church this morning that could give me an amen. as my father would say, Reverend Donald L. Jones.
Amen. I can give you a no, man.
All right, whatever. A woman. So, Amber, talk to us. I'd like to get a little backstory here because this is what the people listening want from you, Amber. They want a little backstory. They feel like you do stuff, but do we really understand the motivation behind an Amber Reynolds? Like, do we understand what makes her tick? The deep insight that she brings to everything that she touches. So, what caused you to write this this brilliant content creation model that you wrote the other day? Go.
So I got a message through Facebook Messenger from Joshua Taylor, who is a fantastic student of ours. And he is working on targeting people who do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he sent me a message a little bit in a panic about I don't know what to talk about. Like, how do I create content and not drive myself insane?
Right.
And I had just had a similar conversation with one of our other students. And so kind of like celebrity deaths, like everything kind of happens in bundles.
Right.
And so I was just like, okay, I just need to just put all this, the same thing I said to every single person in one space.
Right.
So that way I can just refer to this for later and I don't have to keep regurgitating.
Absolutely.
So there's a productivity tip there. If you have to say the same thing over and over again, put it in one place really well, and then refer to it always.
Right. Make sure you throw it in the group so people can ask repeatedly anyway. That's how we like to do it. Put it all in one place.
But we have really good students who will save them and share them for us.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Thank you for those who do that. It is fantastic.
Yeah, we love you for that. And it's okay to ask. Like, we know people are going to ask. So
of course. I mean, but there is a whole search function. Do that first.
There is a search function. You can type in everything. I've seen it once. I don't know that I've used it. I just asked Amber. But I know that there's such a thing. A thing does exist. And Kettle, you've been really good at content recently, especially as you ramped up to your release of your program a couple of weeks back. We've talked over several episodes about it and the brilliance there. And you're going to be using some of that content. I was listening to the episode that aired today, and you were talking about using some of the content from your responses in your program to sprinkle those in, to drop the little salt. Like, who's the guy, Salt Bay? Does a little salt like that.
I don't know the name. I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. He wears shades and he has a deep cut V-neck. That's all I need to know about him. So Amber, can you take us into sort of the overall explanation of what we're about to receive here, of the land of milk and honey that you're about to escort us to through the burning desert right now? Like, what are we in for here? What are we talking in terms of content without getting to the list just yet? Are we talking about creating it? Or are we talking about when to post it? Like, what's the general topic here?
Yeah, so these are just kind of general guidelines that I try to follow when creating content and sources of content. So that's the gist for today.
That's pretty good answer. It's a pretty solid answer. Keto, are you satisfied with that answer?
I'm very satisfied. Thank
you. All
right,
Keto feels good about it. I guess with our permission, Amber, you may continue. Let's start with number one on the list, and what we'll do is we'll interject if we feel like we have something to add, or be very disruptive, whichever. Both things work here on the podcast. We've seen that in the past. So talk to us about number one. What's your number one tip?
Stop making it so darn complicated. For sure. I feel like, especially because we're and I know you guys are friends with a ton of other students and graduates as well, and I'll often go through my newsfeed and y'all are freaking smart. There is no question. Our students and graduates are insanely smart, but they're acting like they're about to submit to a peer-reviewed journal when they create posts. And you forget who you're talking to. Don't make it so hard. I don't know about you, but my clients are Googling if they can get fat if they eat after 7 p.m. They don't give a crap about anabolic and whatever else.
Yes. Now I do have something that I want to add here because it just happened to me today. Part of my content, I try to, because I'm ramping up to a new program, trying to post 3 times per day. So you need to get ideas from wherever you can get ideas, right? And my second post of the day today was about butt dimples. You know why? Because I saw my butt dimples in the mirror today after my shower, and I was like, oh, look at those. And then I was like, oh, this is something that my clients have too. And we don't talk about butt dimples enough. And I was just like, hey, ladies, read this if you have butt dimples. And then, you click to see more. And then it's like, so do I. That is it. That is the post. Normalized bodies. But that's like, it's so simple. It's almost like silly sounding, but legitimately, I'm not kidding you. I got like one of my former clients, I haven't seen her in years. She commented under that post, like, thanks for keeping it real. And then she messaged me and she said, I've been lifting at home and the bases that you gave me all those years ago are still working. Thank you. And I'm like, oh my God, my heart feels amazing. And I'm going to be able to use that snippet as social proof in the future out of a silly, stupid post about butt dimples. So don't complicate yourselves out there.
I love that. What a great statement. And if I could suggest this for the quote card, we don't think or talk about butt dimples enough. I think it's how Keto phrased it. Let's get that on the quote card. We're done for next week. Thank you very much, Keto. PTDC, you're up. Let's get that chart. So that's a great point, Amber. So anything else you'd like to elaborate? I think it's fairly self-explanatory. Are we good for moving on to number 2? Because I love that point.
Yeah, I think we can move on to the next point. And just, don't feel like you need to write an epic novel. Sometimes the shorter, simple stuff just does better.
Right. Like butt dimples.
Like butt dimples.
Simple to
Everyone has an opinion about butt dimples.
They do. People care. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped on the street. Ren, what are your thoughts on butt dimples? I don't know. Are we talking left cheek or right cheek? I mean, it really depends.
Nuance.
It's such a nuanced question, Marie. I just, I don't think we have the time now. Let's link up and set a call. Let's set a Zoom call. In any case, Amber, please continue. Good point.
So be mindful of who your audience is. I actually talked to a student who had a really great analogy that I love. Imagine that your friends, Facebook friends or Instagram friends, whatever, with your crush, and all of your content is for them, to make them smile, to make them think, or, to help them. This is the exact same thing. So don't create content and try to please everyone or to please your peers. Talk to that one specific person.
Yes.
Love that. Great analogy.
Yeah. Can we stop here for a second? Because I think this is one of this is one of the peaks in the mountain range that is your 12 suggestions here. Because this happens a lot, right? Like, we have so many students and graduates that are speaking very generally on the internet about topics. And in my case, it's been as simple as saying something like, okay, ladies, or for all the ladies out there reading, like, it's the content itself may not be as specific to my demographic, but just announcing that it's like if I'm talking to Keto and I say, hey, Keto, can I ask you a question? Like, at least she knows that I'm talking to her, even though it may be a question that anybody can answer. I want to interact with her in this way. Sometimes it's just as simple as saying who you're talking to at the top of the content, right? Other times it's really specific, right? I'm not talking about how to get your testosterone levels up for moms over 30. I may be talking about the foods that help you maintain estrogenic balance, for instance. But isn't it okay if the people that you're not talking to scroll by? Like, why do we care so much that the people that we're not talking to enjoy our content? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. That's an ongoing, I think, learning process for most people, especially when you're just starting and you feel so lost in the vast ocean of all the possibilities of, clients that you can be working with and all this kind of stuff. But as you start finding your footing and your voice and your people, it really minimizes how much you care about what other people think about your content. I don't give a crap. Like, am I sharing super basic information? Why, yes, I am, because that is what my clients want to hear, and I don't care what my peers have to say about that.
Yes.
Are my workouts really basic? Yes, they are, because my clients are beginners into working out, and that's okay.
Absolutely. This is really important, Amber. Even in terms of when you're actually writing your programming and your packages and all that stuff. You know, I see regularly on the internet we have a habit of talking about things that our clients just don't care about. But we also have a habit, and I don't know if this is on your list, of trying to educate through our USP, like trying not to say things like toned, trying not to say things like weight loss, because what we mean really is fat loss. Like, you know, if you're in an English speaking place and you're teaching people Spanish, chances are the advertisement cannot be in Spanish, right? You have to speak the language that the people understand, and then get them to your educational process, and then you teach them the other language. So I don't give a crap if somebody thinks I'm stupid for saying tone up in my ad, because my clients understand that language. I'm talking to them, not to the coaches who want to come behind. There's no such thing as tone up. I know that, but you're not buying my program.
Exactly. Thank you for saying, Ren. That was so freaking good about the languages. That is so freaking
awesome.
good. Yes.
I nailed that one, Amber.
If you're a fitness nutrition coach that's looking to master online coaching so that you can help more people, make more money, and have more freedom, then the Online Trainer Academy can help. OTA gives you the framework, knowledge, and support to have predictable success with your online coaching business. From marketing to business development to how to assess and motivate your clients online, it is constantly updated and refreshed to keep up with a dynamic market. Not only that, OTA is proven. In 7 years, we've helped over 30,000 coaches in 87 countries go online. Truth is, we know what works, so you can get right to the success part. And in case you're busy working a full-time job or you're a full-time parent, know that you can go at your own pace. There's no deadlines to complete OTA and you have lifetime access. That said, if you are ready to make a rapid change and finish the course in the next 8 to 12 weeks, you can expect to invest 3 to 5 hours each week on the program. And here's the best part. If you join today, you will make an extra $1,000 a month in 90 days, or I'll give you your money back. So if you're ready to build the fitness business you want and make the money you deserve, go to onlinetrainer.com/academy to enroll today. And I hope to see you in there.
Oh man, I did good. I got to be quiet now for the next two because I'm going to mess up. So Amber, let's go to number 3. Take it away.
So there's always a lot of stress around how often do I post, and most of us have multiple things going on. This isn't all we do. We're parents, we're significant others, we're, children, sisters, brothers, we have jobs and hobbies and a life. And so we'll often get like, I can't post every day, so it's not going to work. Like, look, it's not that complicated. Like, again, do whatever you can do consistently. If that just means once a week, cool. Do it consistently. Don't care. I mean, ideally, are there other situations that would be better? Sure. But again, we don't live in a vacuum. So find what you can do well consistently and stick to that.
Furthermore, expanding on that, also come to the realization that the exact things that are keeping you from meeting your posting goals are the things that you need to be talking about for your clients, because they also have those setbacks and challenges. So that is part of your content. Absolutely. Share those challenges. It's like, I'm trying to show up more and it's so difficult because I have this job and I have these kids and I have this house, and talk about those things. Be relatable.
The amount of comparisons to running your business to someone else's physical journey is insane.
Yes.
Like, how often have we all had to say, okay, yes, but what would you tell your client? Because it's the same damn thing.
You're absolutely right.
It's just your business. So you're an excellent coach. How would you coach your client through it for their health and fitness goals?
Right.
Yep.
That's so true. It's basically the same thing. Like, it really is. Like, it's the same thing. Consistency over time, doing what you can, not being focused on what you can't do, making sure that you have some type of plan up front, so you have some idea of what the journey is going to be like, where it's going to end up. Like, it's basically the same stuff. I love that tip. Where are we at now? 4? I'm going to run out of fingers after 10.
4.
So, okay, all right.
You start pulling out the toes.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's right. I got toes. Gosh, thank you so much. That's why you're in charge here, Amber. That's the kind of intelligence this podcast needs to stay afloat. So So let's go with 4. Talk to me about 4. I like 4. It's a good number.
So Caro, I feel like, is like the perfect person for number 4. Have some fun with it. Like, it doesn't need to be so serious. Oh my God.
Butt dimples, yes.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone have as much fun creating content as Caro does.
I don't think so either, actually.
Bikini shots and butt dimples and, whatever else. I mean, she's the queen of fun for stuff like that.
That's pretty true. Like, I never look at Carol's content and think, oh, this is peer-reviewed science right here. She did a deep dive last week. Oh, Keto's in the books again.
I will own that proudly. I will own that proudly.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it's interesting. It makes you stop and want to see what she's going to say. It's also informative. I can understand it. I've had to have an education in working with women since I made that decision, right? And Keto's been one of those pioneers for me. Like, she explains simply why I wouldn't call a client a female. A female what? That's not like, and I never understood that stuff before, not because I was intentionally trying to, be a certain way, but, when somebody has interesting content, I got to say, interesting, fun content trumps informative content, especially when there's information buried in it. Like, it's much more interesting because information is everywhere. But when there's fun and something personable attached to it, it's a lot better. It's a lot better on the creating side, and it's way better on the receiving side as a potential client, especially if you don't know what the heck's going on. Nobody wants to go to school on the internet all day long,
right.
Having to research the words somebody used or, but smiling or, it's interesting. See, I want to see more of it, right? I want to see more of it. I just want to see what Jonathan says in the comments. More content. A lot of the times,
the banter.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a good point, Amber. I feel like I maybe didn't read this list the first time. I probably just commented that it was a good list and didn't actually read it, so I apologize for that. But thank you for sharing with me now. I'm paying attention fully. I know we're on 5 too because I'm smart.
There you go. Yeah, we kind of touched on this just a little bit, but your post should be more targeted to the person you're trying to chat with. Mm-hmm. So we've kind of touched on it throughout some of the other points, but we'll post the link in the show notes as well, but there's a process I use for creating content, and it's just kind of a flow chart because that's how my brain works. But like you were saying, like it don't talk about, fat loss when they really say, well, I want to get rid of my muffin top. Like
right.
The totally different things and different customers. So make sure you're talking to your specific demographic. And one of the things I like to do is I have a client avatar, and I don't know if you guys do this, but like she has a name, and I know literally what her day looks like from the moment she wakes up to the time she goes to bed. I know if she's a side sleeper. I know what kind of music she listens to. Like, I know I've mapped out all of that stuff. And so when I create content, I'm literally talking to her. Oh, and so it just makes it easier to create content when I know who I'm talking to and what their life is like.
She's just a side sleeper.
No,
I'm sure.
I overthink.
I'm sure Keto has walls and walls full of flow charts as well. I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. You know how organized I am. I have an index. A table of contents, and yes, of course, Ren.
Oh, man. And the point that I'm making here is that there's more than one way to do this, and I think that's the beauty of our production here as a podcast. We all do things similar but different. So we just want to give you guys a spectrum. Representation matters. So we want you to see the spectrum of representation of very organized to disarray to just batshit crazy at sometimes, and we've all been in all 3 categories, by the way, depending on what the situation is.
Depending what day of the week.
Yeah, depending on what day of the week it is. I can assure you that. So that's a great point. So we're off to 6 now. Talk to us about 6, Amber.
So super simple. There's 2 websites that I like to use. So also asked.com and askthepublic.com.
Yes.
both really cool. You can put in keywords and it will basically create flowcharts of what searches are showing up with those keywords. So if I'm working with working moms, I can put in, and I know their goal is to lose weight, working mom lose weight, and it will pull up all of the different variations of searches that have been generated with those words. So that can often spark content.
Those are fantastic. I love it because they're like prompts. They're like writing prompts for anybody who has ever done a writing class. It's like one of those, like, tell me about the time when you got to write a story about it. So it's here, like, you see what people are actually like in real time searching on the internet. So you can see, it's like a look into their brains, into their questions, into their fears. So take that. It's really
That's awesome. I love that. And this will be in the show notes, I'm sure, obviously, Amber.
Yeah.
All right, you're the best. Where are we at? 7? Talk to me about 7.
Super fast. Listen to episodes 71 and 68 of this podcast because we hit on content. Boom. Caro, I think, was kind of the driving force in both of those, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it's Kettle shining in those? So you got to listen to those.
It was.
Yeah. True story. I only listen to the ones where Carol shines now. I find the rest of the episodes to be too depressing. So I probably won't listen to this one. No disrespect, Amber. You're doing a heck of a job. But I only listen to Kettle now. I mean, it is what it is. I know when I'm outmatched. So, all right. So number 8, a good tip. Number 8.
Anything you make, you want to milk it. So if you do a live and it's 10 minutes, there's probably at least 10 different things you can make out of that 10-minute video. Pull it out and make different 30 to 60 second sound bites from it. You can make quote cards. You can turn it into a simple text and graphic image post. You can do an infographic. You can do a blog. I mean, there's a ton of different things you can do with that post. So don't just create it in one way. Recycle it in a bunch of different formats.
That's so good. I need to get better at that. I'm not as good at that one. Like, I always forget. Like, I do a thing and it's almost like it exists in a vacuum. Right?
Right.
Like you make it and then that's it and you forget about it. But actually you said some things that are, snippets or insights that are worth repeating or fleshing out in other mediums. So that's a good reminder for me.
Absolutely.
Once you create templates, it doesn't take as much time. So once you have your general template and a system, it goes by a lot faster.
100%. And I'll sprinkle a little seasoning on this too. You guys got to remember that all of your clients don't interact with media the same way. They don't learn the same way. They don't enjoy the same type of media. So some will resonate if you have quote cards, like I see Kettle posted a quote card this morning. She's been doing quote cards for a little while. That will resonate with some people. Some people want to listen. Some people want to hear what you're saying. Some people want to watch a video. Some people like text with a graphic. So if you've got one great piece of content, particularly something like a live session, man, you can break that thing out in all of those ways. You can give something audio, something video, something text with a graphic, quote card. Like, there's so much to expand on there. Where are we at now? 8? Is it 8 up?
Nope, we're on 9.
What?
Yeah,
That's a whole
we're going by fast.
All right.
Keep track of your posts, and especially ones that do well. I think it's a great idea to have like a Google sheet, and you can, if you don't know how to do this, on your post. Yep. Well, put the on the date. If you click on the date on your post, it'll give you the permanent link for it.
Yes.
Copy that and save it in a Google sheet. And then once you have about 30 days worth of content that is done well for you, start recycling it.
Yes.
Mix with original content or more up-to-date content. And then once you have 60 days, the vast majority of it can be recycled on a consistent basis.
Yes.
I have never done this. Oh my God.
Really?
I am learning so much today.
Kettle, I posted something on Instagram yesterday, a quote card. It got a lot of traction. I posted it last July also. Like, I recycle so much of my content, so much of it. And people receive, first of all, the people that saw it the first time, they almost always have the same exact commentary the second time they see it. The internet happens so fast, and it's such a short attention span theater, and people are consuming so much other content besides ours. They legit don't remember that they've seen it the first couple of times. A lot of time, recycling has saved me so much time in creating content. And then when your audience grows, you know how it is when more people start listening to you, other people get the perception that you're more important than you actually are, right? So first like 20 people liked it the first time you did it. You get a little notoriety for your content, and then everything you do is on James Clear level. It's amazing. I can't believe it. It's so good. Obviously Jonathan's not reached that level yet, so he wouldn't know. It's good he's not here. But for someone like James Clear who's reached that level with less books, by the way. Jonathan won't hear this. He's in prison. And at a younger age, if I'm not mistaken. But I digress, as the meme said on the internet. But yeah, recycling, man, is so helpful. That's a great tip, Amber. I'm going to be quiet now. Keep going.
Well, on top of that, it doesn't mean that you can't tweak it, right? Just because you're recycling it.
Right.
Like if you did a post about overeating during the holidays at Thanksgiving, you can talk about the same thing come Christmas or Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, whatever the occasion is. Mm-hmm. It can be the exact same thing with a minor tweak.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to, reuse it as is, or you can adjust it to the current climate of what's going on today.
Yes. You know what else happens to me, Amber? Like sometimes when I go back to old content, I realized that I could have used a better word or a better phrase or a better picture, and I'll change it slightly. And that's really satisfying to see your own content sort of evolve. Okay, take us into the next one. I think it's 10 or 9. I don't know how numbers work. All right, sweet. Whatever.
Keep it simple. Do not start with more than one platform.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's important. Like there's always going to be like exasperated at the thought of there's always going to be a new thing, and I like new things. Don't get me wrong. Keto and I are probably more along the lines of early adopters and adopting different places because it's super fun. For me, it's fun to learn how to use another platform. I realize it's not like that for everybody. So I think where we get caught up is one person says, "Oh, Clubhouse is there's so much white space there's so much blue ocean on Clubhouse. It's so new. Early adopters is a great platform," and people take away from that now I have to be on Clubhouse or else my business is failing. TikTok has great tutorials. Keto was talking about the tutorials the other day about if you want to learn Canva, you can learn it on TikTok. And someone out there may think, "Oh, I'm not on TikTok. I'm failing at my business." That's not the case. Like, don't make it super hard for yourself because you're trying to keep up in every single place. Because basically what you're going to end up doing, you're going to end up spreading the trash around the house, right? Find one area, clean that really well. Like, having a really clean kitchen can change your whole perspective for the day. Maybe you didn't make it to the bedroom, but when you're picking up here and there and you're all over the house, eventually you have a slightly less dirty house altogether. You don't have like one entirely clean area. So treat your content like that. You don't have to be everywhere. It's cool if you can handle it. But if you can't, it's okay to be in one place and really, really dominate it. Because I've seen some things. And we won't elaborate on that. I'm sorry. Take us into number 11, Amber. You're doing a great job, by the way. Just nice, clear voice. Your tone's excellent. And I'm loving the eye contact.
Thanks.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, it got a little weird there. Go ahead. So number 11.
All right, create a swipe file. I think we do this to a certain extent. Like we'll save post, or we'll sign up for a newsletter or whatever, and it kind of ends up in the graveyard of things never to be looked at again. But anything from posts that you can share as is, like there's absolutely no issue. Like I would have no issue sharing Ren or Carolina's posts. So like just share it as is. Or you can take something as inspiration and dive deeper into it.
Yes.
So create a place where you dump all of your great ideas, so that way when you feel stuck, you can go back and refer to them.
I like that. And I know Keto uses quotes all the time. She's like, why create a whole quote when there's thousands of great quotes out there?
No, baby. I found a website that auto-generates them for you. With a pretty picture, with a fancy font, and the quote on the topic that you wanted to. So I'm like, success, and these amazing quotes. It's automatic, and I'm like, I can't even. So now I made a bunch, and I have all my content for the weeks to up,
That's
and I
where
can't
those
remember
quotes are
the
coming
name.
from.
I'll look it up and then I'll pass it to you next episode, or for the show notes, because it's so easy, so fast, so easy.
All right, that's awesome. Shoot, that's great. All right, number 12, bringing it home, Amber. Big finish.
Yep, last one. So this is the one I think people miss the most. So document and celebrate everything that happens.
Yes. Big fan
Now,
of that.
we know that Keto's a master at this. Like she just gave us a key. And literally, in the episode that aired today, she was just tell us about social proof, how she asked those 2 awesome questions of her group as they were 2 weeks into the process. And she took screenshots, she blurred out the names, and she is documenting in real time the success that they're having. Any other examples? Because this is a really great point. Like any other examples you guys can think of how to sort of go ahead, Keto.
So I remember one time, this was before the pandemic, and I was still doing one-on-one training. And with a client, we were doing her activation drills with a mini band, and she actually snapped it, like it broke. And that happens. I mean, mini bands break, and it's not a big deal. But she was like, "I feel like a freaking beast," and I'm like, "Yes, baby." So we took a selfie with and she's like, like flexing and everything, and it's something so dumb. But it made her feel like $1,000,000, and we celebrated that. Yes, like break my equipment from how freaking strong you are, kind of thing. So literally take anything and use that, because that enthusiasm is for your client, but also for the people witnessing her journey alongside you.
That's amazing. But isn't, like, in this stage of social media, isn't that what we want though? Like, aren't we tired of the overproduced video, the polished photo all the time? Like, everything is perfect. Like, don't we want to be a fly on the wall and see all the little victories that happen along, like documenting? Documenting is so great to do. I was talking to a kid, I think his name is AJ, and I believe he's in Holland, but he's from Russia, an online trainer academy student. And he was talking about, he's bodybuilder. He said, well, I'm doing with my body so I can do a photo, create content. And as he was that mentoring session, he was walking into his building and he had his phone low to his body, so I was basically seeing up his nostrils. But he's got this fiery red beard, big guy. He looked 8 feet tall. I was like, bro, you can shoot content every day you walk into work. If you're walking down the hallway like this, give them tips and call it tips from Mount Olympus with that with that low angle shot and your fiery red beard. And lo and behold, the next day he did it. He's been posting every day since. He has a walking chat, or something he calls it. Chat on my way to work. But documenting is so powerful against creating, because you don't have to think of anything. And like Carol said in her in the other episode, and Amber chimed in too, when we were talking about working within our demographic, you guys were both talking about you are living the lives of your demographic, of your avatar. Every day of your life is content, right? I just saw Amber's picture with Nate, flashing the media. There's a little Nate booty on the picture as she was doing, like. But isn't that the best content though? Isn't that what lets the potential client figure out who they're going to get an opportunity to work with? Like, it's so crucial. I love that stuff. That's a great point. So Amber, you've given us the keys here to the vehicle. Yeah, it's a great list. And let
me add one more thing with that last point.
Please add something else.
So a lot of people are scared of adding content about their business, like not just like tips and stuff, but actually about your business. It is okay to celebrate when something happens in your business. If you have your first client from out of state, celebrate it. If you have your 10th client from out of state, celebrate it. If you got new business, like don't get business cards, but like if you got business cards, celebrate it. Anything positive that happens or that you are doing to move your business forward, talk about it. Your business is personal, and it is okay to talk about personal stuff on social media. So that's just the kind of other document-worthy type stuff to include.
Absolutely, because people want to know they're going to work with somebody relatively successful, right? Like it's it calms them in a way that they feel like they can trust the organization that's going to be successful. That's why we hear so much. That's why we hear so much about Ford and Chevy and their damn JD Power Awards. Every commercial, like, people want to work with successful people, and it's not it's not bragging per se. It's just letting people know that you got a business that's thriving, and it's thriving because you're helping people, and that's important. Nobody wants to be associated with a struggling business per se. Even though you can express some of your challenges, it's not the same thing as being a struggling business. I got to say, I learned some things here today.
Me too.
Keto, you feel like you learned some things?
Oh, I absolutely did.
Yeah, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you what you learned. I saw the Tetris reflecting in the screen, while Amber was talking, and that's okay. Tetris is a fine game. It's good. You want to work your mind in several different ways. Why at least it's not Candy Crush. Amber, great list, man. This is awesome. Like,
it is.
This is going to be one of those actionable episodes. So, like I told you guys in episode, I think 48, when Jonathan ran down the 13 sales rules, which actually turned out to be the OTA level 2 sales script in its entirety. You're gonna want to listen to this one a couple of times. Write down notes, come up with an actionable plan. Use all the spreadsheets and flowcharts like Catalina does. Her living room walls just practically littered with strategic information.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Love it.
Oh man, and you can apply that stuff here. Is it show notes time? It's time to talk about the show notes. Are we done here? We're done. Okay. Well, great job. So show notes will be important here. Show notes for this episode can be found at onlinetrainer.com/podcast. Don't hesitate to leave us a review. We got some awesome reviews the other week. We'll talk about those next episode. I want to be able to share a few of those with the listeners. Jonathan, when you get out, buddy, there's a car waiting for you on the north side of the prison. So that's Guillermo. I sent him. He's safe. And he'll take you back home, buddy. Okay. You got street cred now, bro. So we'll see you next time on the Online Trainer Show. We solved all your content problems. Once again, solved in 50 minutes or less. Don't hesitate to leave a review. Thank Amber if you can. If you see her in public or on the internet, thank her for this brilliant information that she's given us. Save the link to this list that she's made so that you don't have to ask people for it repeatedly. She'll love you even more for that. And we'll see you next time. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show.
We shouldn't have a podcast.